There is no substitute for you acting like a bloody, utter savage yourself, because you doing that will help your sons learn how to model it. And there is no other way. And your son deserves better than a half-assed effort on your part.
You're a man living in the modern world in a time when men and manhood are not what they once were. You live life on your own terms. You're self-sufficient. You think for yourself and you march to the beat of your own drum. When life knocks you down, you get back up because in your gut, you know that's what men do. You're a badass and a warrior. And on the days when you forget, we are here to remind you who you really are.
Welcome to the Sovereign Man Podcast, where we aim to make men masculine again. I'm your man, Nicky, and I've got a solo episode for you today. A lot of men that I know ask me, how did I raise two utterly savage sons? My eldest, Kayvon, is 20 right now. And this boy has been working full-time since he was 18, 7 days a week. He hasn't taken a day off. And now he's not working in the gym / his office 1 day a week anymore. But on those days, he's doing other work. He's doing video content. He's doing miscellaneous admin work. So he's still working every day. This kid is crushing it. He bought his own car. He's got his own place he's renovated and is staying at. He helps out his mom. He's an utter savage. My youngest, Carmon, who's 18, has got a job for the summer, and he's got a part-time business detailing cars in the beach. By the way, if you live in Toronto and you need your car detailed, get in touch with me. I'll hook you up with Carmon. Neither of these boys are lazy Nancy boys. They're savage sons and they're savage men. Now, why is that? How is that? How did these boys become savage sons and savage men? Well, they had a savage father who made a decision that he was going to raise them in a particular way. So number one, I didn't let the woke mind virus affect my sons. I kept telling them about my political opinions and why I have them. I told them that I love the Trump, why I love the Trump. I told them I'm a conservative, why I'm a conservative. You know, all of this is something I started to talk to them about from a young age. Additionally, I roughhoused with them. I played with them roughly like a father and a son ought to. And I played sports with them. We played basketball, we played soccer, we played baseball, football. And I got them involved in sports. So they did karate from a young age. And then when they hit their tweens, they got into sports, organized team sports. So they both played hockey and soccer, although my older son went deep into soccer and abandoned hockey after a while. And my younger son went deep into hockey and abandoned soccer after a while, although he did come back to it. These boys playing organized sports was the most important decision that I made that has helped turn them into savage young men, because they are now learning how to fight for a cause greater than themselves, and that's their team. They're learning how to get along with other people and work toward a common goal. They're being socialized, and they're being forced to evaluate their performance and their shortcomings and to work harder to overcome their shortcomings. And let me tell you something, guys. This was very important in turning these little boys into savage sons and savage young men. Now, what else? I was hard on these boys. One day I was driving both my sons to school. This was about 5 years ago or so. And I asked them this question. I said, boys, what is it that you like about your father? And my oldest son, Kayvon, he said, Dad, I'm not sure I want to tell you this, but what I like best about you is that you are hard on me. Hearing that brought tears to my eyes. I asked him to explain himself more. And he said, you being hard on me is forcing me to get tougher, stronger. And as a result of that, I'm becoming a better young man. I think it's amazing that my son, at a young age, at an early stage teenager, understood this. And I'm very proud of him for understanding this. And I'm proud of myself for having raised the kind of son that gets this. Now, if you're a father to sons and you're thinking to yourself, what do I need to do to make sure that my boys are ready to launch into life? First and foremost, you got to be hard on them. You can't treat them like they're dainty little girls. You got to treat them like men in training. Secondly, you got to talk to them. You got to spend time with them. You got to make sure the woke mind virus doesn't infect them, because that's super, super important, okay? You can't let your boys turn into wokesters. They got to become strong, savage, conservative, libertarian-leaning young men. Next, and this is very important, and I mean very important, you have got to spend time with them and play with them and roughhouse with them. You got to take them places, do things with them, wrestle with them, play sports with them, play soccer with them, take them to sporting events, teach them how to shoot a gun, teach them how to camp, teach them skills. So I'm telling you, this is super, super important. Next, put them into organized sports, put them into combat sports, because this is going to teach them how to work hard, how to work for a cause greater than themselves. It's going to teach them how to be one of those absolute, utter savages that goes out and gets things done. Super important that you do that. Put them into organized sports and take them out and do things with them. Go for walks on the beach, play games with them, take them to sporting events, take them out to dinner, spend time with them. And especially if you're a successful man, do not be one of these pussy-ass successful men that ignores his sons, that puts more time into work than his boys. Let me tell you, how much money you make is very important, but making sure your sons turn out and launch properly is 1,000 times more important. It's very, very important that you understand that. And finally, if you want your sons to turn out to be savage sons, don't try to do this and figure this out by yourself. Be part of a men's organization with men that have raised savage sons like yours truly, Nicky Ballou. If you were part of my group, you'd get access to me and your inner circle in a phenomenal way that would take your sons to a whole new level. I am Ballou, and I raise savage sons. And if you are someone who currently is concerned that you're not raising a savage son, I need you to repeat after me. Say your last name. I'm going to say I am Ballou, but you say whatever your last name is. You say, I am Ballou, and I raise savage sons. If your name is Smith, say, I am Smith, and I raise savage sons. If your name is Manning, say, I am Manning, and I raise savage sons. If your name is Karim Khanazan, say, I'm Karim Khanazan, and I raise savage sons. If your name is Pahlavi, say, I am Pahlavi, and I raise savage sons. You got to do this. There is no substitute for you acting like a bloody, utter savage yourself, because you doing that will help your sons learn how to model it. And there is no other way. And your son deserves better than a half-assed effort on your part. Your son deserves your very best. And your very best needs to be aimed at turning him into a savage. Remember that. And tonight, when you go home, spend time with your boy. Book some time to spend time with him and do something with him. Talk to his mother and get him involved in some sports, organized sports. Get him involved in some combat sports. Talk to him about politics, about society and life. Tell him why wokeness is bad and wrong and evil. And make sure that you set up lots of time in your schedule to be with your son, to model how to be a great man for your son, and to do things with your son, because your son's always going to remember these. And that's it. That's my advice. And that's a wrap.
Thank you for listening to the Sovereign Man Podcast. If you're ready to take charge of your life and become the man you've always wanted to be, we invite you to join the movement at sovereignman.ca.